Um, yeah, back we can begin. Our last discussion, we are talking about the skills, so other ingredients that help the organization to succeed, and this includes the skills of the employees, of course, the type of incentive the organization have, the resources, and then the action plan. And I stated that these things, to make them operational, for them to work, there have to be a vision. The vision that will be the backbone, the framework, the spindle in which all these ingredients rotate. Now, this can be illustrated with a diagram, so you can see what I mean by that. Now, look at this organization. Let's say that this organization, let me make it a little bit bigger. Suppose the organization have all these items. Hope you can see this. Okay, good. I think you can see it. Now, it has a vision. Then you have combined with skills, incentives, resources, and action plan, you get organizational success. Now, if you have skills, incentive, resources, action plan, but no vision, you're gonna get confusion. Now you have vision, and there's no skill, but you have incentives, resources, action plan. It creates some kind of anxiety, in the company. You have vision, skills, resources, and action plan. They're gonna be change, but it's gonna be a gradual change. Now, you might have vision, skills, incentives, but there's no resources. You have vision, skills, and action plan, no resources. That can lead to frustration in the company. And of course, there can be a situation where you have the company that has vision, followed by skills, incentive, resources, but there's no action plan. That can lead to a false start. So the which means that of all these scenarios, the best one is this one here. You can see that's the best one. Have the vision, have a skill, have an incentive, resources, and the action plan. Okay. Now, which leads us to next item, which is the vision as an idea. Well, generally speaking, I would say that the vision is an ideal image of what could be and should be. So, which means that as a leader, three important questions. There are three important questions you must ask. One, is this the right direction? Two, are these the right goals that I have? Do I have the right goals? Three, is this the right time for this goal? So if I have a vision of this is what I want to produce, or this is what I want to give to the world, which is then if I ask you, is this the right way to go? Okay, then okay, another one is, are these the right goals? Then, is this the right time for me to start pushing for this or start working on toward this? Because there can be some invention that came out too early for their time. And because of that, they might not take hold. Yeah. So now answering these questions, yes for the first one, yes for the second one, yes for the third one. Now, once you provide this answer, then as a leader, you must now share this vision and have it supported. I will give you example with Martin Luther King. Many people came before Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, and so many other civil rights. But when he came, he has a vision. Even though he wasn't alive for that vision to be fulfilled, but he have created that desire, that test, that this dream in African American, that's why those that are leaders who stayed after he was gone, and they pushed for that vision to desegregate the America, you know. So I'm gonna play this clip from him. You know, I'm sure he must have had this. We have the vision, had a dream, and he was pushing that vision, the way he communicated it to African American leaders, and the way he communicated it to America in general, became a very strong force, a force that resisted all kinds of opposition. At the end, it was America was eventually desegregated. So let me play this clip so you can see Martin Luther King's vision. Okay, I'm sure he must have had this speech before, but let's see.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
You can hear the sound, right?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yes.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later,
let me make it faster. Where he shared his vision for America. You know, I think that should be.
Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities. Knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
So you can see his vision, and of course, as we know, that vision was eventually fulfilled. He instilled that vision in America, and he's the leaders of the civil rights movement. They are inspired by his vision, and of course the African American community, and they are inspired by that, and then everybody working towards that end. This is what a leader does. So the vision can be an ideal. It become an idea that they work on the basis of that ideal, and then eventually many laws are passed to stop segregation. Now, moving to the next stage, we have the leader as a visionary and motivator of people. As you can see it from the speech of course, the speech, the character, and the activities or achievement of Martin Luther King. Now, when we relate that to business world, it's still the same. A leader, no matter how uncertain conditions can be, an effective leader must create a clear and compelling vision of what should be done in his or her area of responsibility. So it has to be a clear vision. It has to be clear, one, and also you have to communicate it the right way. You can develop the vision for a project or work group or for the organization. As a matter of fact, many leaders fail because they do not have a vision or a clear vision. Instead, they have a way to survive on a day-to-day basis. Now, I'll give you another person. What Martin Luther King was able to achieve in the civil rights movement. There are some leaders who have achieved a different kind of vision in the business world. One of them is Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart. His vision to provide the goods and services that American people want at affordable price. Provide what they want at a price that is affordable. So Walmart, there's always, when the founder was leading Walmart, it always focused on price. Give them what they want at affordable price. And with that, he was able to build a business empire that is a multinational corporation. Everybody knows about Walmart. Now let's see how Sam Walton was able to do that. If you look at this clip, I like to use real life examples so you can see that it's not talking about it. It is something that have been attained actually by a lot of people, and it made them very great in the world. So let's look at this. Excuse me. I can share this.
Get it, let it roll.
I did not glue this wig down at all. Like when I mean at all, no got to be no spray.
With over 11,300 locations globally, 140 million.
You can hear this one too, right? The sound, right? Hello,
Yeah.
Can you hear? Okay, good.
Shoppers. Walmart has the highest number of employees in the world. Their annual sales exceed $500 billion, and every landlord wants Walmart to be their tenant. But there was a time when a landlord pushed Walmart out of his property. In today's episode, we will discuss the founder of Walmart. The world is just coming out of the war. The country is going into the Great Depression. Coming times would be tough on everyone, especially farmers. On top of depression, they had another thing coming for them. In the 1930s, US was hit by the Dust Bowl. The high winds and dust swept the region, affecting crops and livestock. Farmers couldn't grow. Sam's father's work was to make sure that the farmers paid for their land. His job became even harder. He had to repossess failed farms. Many of them were passed down to their children. Young Sam went with his father and saw him talk to farmers. Maybe this affected young Sam, as he did not want his family to go through what the farmers were going through. Sam's care for others was seen in him from his high school day. He joined the Boy Scouts, where he saved a boy from drowning. He then went on to the university and graduated with a degree in economics. After graduation, he worked at JCPenney for $75 per month. As the story goes, he was good with customers, but his books were never organized. His bosses told him that he was not cut out for retail. By 1942, US had joined the war. Sam wanted to do something for his country and decided to join the army. One night as he was bowling, he met a woman who also became his wife, Helen. Sam proposed to Helen. Right after they got married, he was called for duty. Sam and Helen welcomed their first child on October 28, 1944, less than a year after the war ended. Sam returned home and decided to run his own store. With savings of $5,000 and a loan of $20,000 from his father-in-law, he bought Ben Franklin's shop the owner was trying to get rid of, as it was losing money. Sam knew that the store was losing money because of the prices. If he could find a way to sell items on an affordable price, the store would pick up. There was only one problem. Sam did not know what was the common shopping item. As he was on a budget, he wanted to make sure that his first item was something that people actually wanted. One day, Sam saw the store across from his selling ladies' clothes. The store ran out within a day. Sam saw this as an opportunity to welcome shoppers in his shop. He drove to the suppliers and bought everything they had in stock. The stores across from Sam couldn't order anymore as the supplier was out. The customers started to walk towards Sam's store. From there, he made sure that he was one step ahead of his competitors. He would place popcorn machine outside the store. People passing by would smell the popcorn and buy from him. It took Sam 3 years to pay back the loan to his father-in-law. However, with profits came jealousy. The owner of Sam's building had an eye on him and he got greedy. When the time came to renew the lease, the owner refused, forcing Sam to leave. Sam knew that he was meant to be a retailer, and with a vision to provide shopping item on an affordable price, he searched for a new location and found one in Bentonville. Moving to Bentonville with a family of 4 kids was not easy, but the price was too good. Learning from the past, Sam signed off on the new lease for 99 years. On July 1950, he opened doors. Sam soon realized that instead of a clerk handing an item over to customers, customers bought an item quicker if they were given a choice to select one. This way, Sam would make a sale much quicker, and because they were selecting one by themselves, he didn't need clerks. The expenses dropped. Using self-service model, sales tripled, giving him enough money to expand. Over the next 10 years, he bought 16 stores, managing them by himself. As he drove back and forth from one location to the other, he realized that he was spending more time driving than spending time inside the store. So he bought a plane, giving him the freedom to visit store quite often. Sam was operating under a franchise, Ben Franklin. He suggested Ben Franklin if they were to buy items in volume, it would be cheaper, which would eventually reduce consumer price. But Ben Franklin didn't think much of Sam's idea and rejected it. Sam, frustrated, decided to set up a chain of his own. On July 1962, he opened a store in Rogers, Arkansas. The inspector walked in the store to review it and told Sam, "This store is one of the ugliest looking store." This was the first Walmart store. Sam, regardless, opened the store to the public. To his surprise, the store exceeded his own expectations, bringing in sales of $1 million in first year. In 1964, he opened 2 more stores. His strategy was simple: to have lower prices than that of his competitors. He would walk in a competitor's stores, and if he saw a price tag that was lower to his, he would call the Walmart location and tell them to drop their price right away. His wife Helen suggested that he should make profits available to all employees, and in 1972, Walmart opened its profit-sharing program. By 1978, Walmart had 195 stores in 10 states and was opening 100 stores in a year. By 1985, Sam Walton was the richest man in the United States. But then in 1987, with the stock market crash, Sam lost over $1 billion in a matter of hours. His reply? It's paper anyway. On April 5, 1992, Sam passed away after his 74th birthday. Sam was up before dawn. He would come home only to have dinner and to catch up on his reading. He once said that, "I never really understand how he succeeded." He did not know retail business, but decided to read a book from Ben and Franklin applying book principle in his personal life. Until next time, have a good
Let's see. A simple vision, provide what the customer wants and at an affordable price. And when he encountered a problem, he turned that problem into an opportunity. He made a suggestion to Ben Franklin franchise. They rejected his suggestion. And then, frustrated, sure he was, but he see it as an opportunity to start his own retail store. And that was it. And he maintained that simple model. I'm going to provide what the customer wants at an affordable price. He's paranoid about it to the extent that when he goes to other stores and see a product that has a lower price than the one that he has in his store, he will call his store and say, please drop down the price immediately. And with that vision and that strategy, and eventually he was able to get customer loyalty, and he grew with that. Now this leads us to leadership change and some few research findings. For academic research, their findings. First of all, they found three things. One is that taking a personal responsibility for initiating a change. These are one of the three qualities that are needed in steering organization through a period of change. You take a personal responsibility for initiating the change. As the leader, you initiate the change. And you create the vision and strategy for the organization. And that vision, of course, have to be you initiate it. Then your followers will support it. You have to convince them to see through your vision. And then, of course, it will be something that is worth doing. Then also trusting and supporting others. So leader must treat people with respect, dignity, expecting the best effort in each employee or workers. And of course, the personal responsibility and showing sincere appreciation for work that they perform. Now, which leads us to vision content principles. Now, under this, we'll be looking at the key elements of an overall vision or strategic plan. The first one is the central purpose of Omission. Now, this simply means a clear, compelling statement of purpose that provides focus or direction. Another way, we can call it a mission statement, put it that way. For example, basically, that statement answers this question, very simple question: why do we exist? So once we can establish an answer for this, then it becomes much easier to make decisions. Like Walmart, his own is that he wants to provide a product that people want at affordable price. So he cannot make decision based on that. He go to any store, he see a product that he have in his store, and the price is lower than the one they have in his store. He will call his store and say, drop down the price. See, easy decision making because there's the you know why you exist. You have a mission. Now, Facebook, look at Facebook. Facebook, for example, has a mission. It's a give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. With that mission, give people the power to share things and to connect. They worked on that. Everything that they do is based on that and point to that mission. Well, of course, between me and you, that Facebook is one of the most popular social networking with more than 2.6 billion users. That's a lot. Of all this are based on the kind of vision they have and mission they work towards achieving. Now, another one is have a broad goals to achieve the mission. And you must have a process of functional accomplishment that must be, we have 10 minutes left, okay, good. That must be met to achieve the mission. So core values to measure the rightness or wrongness of the behavior. Sometimes we call it principles, operating principles. Now, core values simply means things like truth, trust, and respect that define the moral tone or the character of your company, organization. So the next thing is the stakeholders and what the attainment of the vision will mean for them. So when we talk about stakeholders are simply those who will be affected by what your company is doing or what they are not doing. Now the stakeholders can be your customers, your host community, and of course the local authorities where the company operates. And of course, mainly the shareholders too. Because like Walmart, even though he was the founders, as the company gets bigger, you see that many people buy their stocks and become part of the owners of the company. So stakeholders, shareholders, their customers first, of course, because they are the people that they get revenue. And the shareholders, then your host community, where a company operates. A company have social responsibility to the host community. That's why some companies sponsor scholarship programs for to make themselves, their presence felt in that community. And when they make the community happy, the community gives them the business they want. Then analysis of the organization and its environment, including the internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as the external opportunities. We call it SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is a very important thing, I would say, assessment. The company look at the environment where it operates to see if there's opportunities and threats there. And of course, they also have their own internal strengths and weaknesses that they have to figure a way to work and take advantage of their strengths and work towards diminishing the weakness they have. And then, of course, take advantage of the external opportunity they have, Now, with the SWOT analysis or with SWOT assessment, it can be a form of a barometer for measuring the current condition that must be both thorough and objective. That measurement can be thorough and objective. Then another one is this: strategic initiative, or some of the critical success factors. Simply put, they have to be short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals for the company that the company will have. Not only that, those goals must be strategic, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and timely. So we call it smart goals. Smart goals. Now, the best one can even be smarter. Smarter as an acronym. In this case, where the E stands for exciting. You have to be excited. You have to be an initiative that is employees can be exciting enough to energize the employee and make them committed towards achieving the goal. And then the R stands for review. Yeah, employees they like to. I won't say they like to be reviewed, but they like to get feedback on how they are doing, and you can only get that by reviewing, doing some kind of review on what they do. So have a tactical plan. Now let me summarize this SWOT analysis. We'll come to that. The tactical plans and specific assignments, things like a project to support the strategic initiatives. So some of these projects can be, or they can serve as the performance planning guides to performance planning for unit and for all the members of the organization. So when we talk about tactical plans, we are referring to things like projects and activities that are designed to implement a strategy that the company, has as their main goal. So it can be one way of applying it can be through group or in-group or person-specific assignment and concrete actions that can be taken in the plan to achieve the strategy or goal of the organization. Now, here's the key point here. We have less than 3 minutes. Yeah. Now, here's the key point here. The SWOT analysis. It is actually a broad area. I will not be able to finish it in 3 minutes. So I will time us out. Please log back in after 10 minutes so I can, we'll have less time. Let us be able to cover this SWOT analysis. I want to elaborate more on it. So I can't finish that in 3 minutes or less than 3 minutes. So I'm going to time us out, log back in so we can now round up. We're almost done. Okay. So we'll come back, we continue with this SWOT analysis. So see you back here in 10 minutes.